It's a game of chicken between Republicans and Democrats, each side slinging blame for the government shutdown now in its 11th day.
We sent over a totally clean measure that they had already voted for before. In fact, that Chuck Schumer gave impassioned speeches as recently as March of this year. The same instrument, the same one that he said was the right thing to do and that it must be done so Americans don't feel harm. He said that earlier this year. So we sent him the same instrument, hoping, of course, believing that they would do what has always been done here and pass a clean CR. And they didn't. So I don't have anything to negotiate. There's nothing more for me to do. I literally don't have a card that I can take off the deck because we did it all in good faith. They're the ones politicizing this. They're trying to play a game. We're not engaging in a game.
So now we're in a government shutdown. And you may be asking yourself, how the hell did we get here? Donald Trump and the Republican Party are hell-bent on taking health care away from 60 million people, closing community clinics, rural hospitals, nursing homes, all so they can keep giving tax breaks to their billionaire friends. It's a disgrace. So Democrats have 3 words for this: no fucking way. It's literally life or death. We will not let Republicans blow up our healthcare system.
And if there was any beacon of hope that the shutdown might end soon, it dimmed yesterday. Speaker Mike Johnson announced the House is canceling next week's session altogether, saying lawmakers won't return until the Senate turns the lights back on. Let's bring in somebody accustomed to this gridlock and how to defeat it. Former West Virginia Senator Joe Manchin, author of a brand new book, Dead Center, in defense of common sense. Actually, Senator, let's go there first, because in reading the book, page 120, 121, there's a discussion of almost heaven. What a great boat name, especially for you. And you say, I've had some incredible evenings on that boat, evenings that reminded me of what politics should be. And then you discuss the rules for the boat. What were the rules when you were pulling together a gathering?
Well, the rules were if you brought 3 Democrats down, you had to bring 3 Republicans. So when anybody wanted to come to dinner, and I would invite, I said, just find a housemate with you, find someone across the aisle, and let's get together. So we'd come down and we'd have a nice dinner with some refreshments, and we'd be talking. And a lot of it wouldn't be about business, and then it would go about business, how we get along. But we got to know each other better. And the end, every evening, Michael, what we did, we would get in a circle on top of the boat there, and we would all hug each other in a big circle and have Lee Greenwood, proud to be an American. And that was how we ended every...
It's much easier to demonize someone when you don't know them. And I've long said from a distance that what's most lacking in Washington today is nobody's breaking bread, nobody's having a cocktail. Gone are the days that you relocate your family and everybody across the aisle get to know one another. So now you're gone. Who can we count on to recreate the spirit of almost heaven?
Well, almost heaven's still there. It's still down at the wharf, and they're welcome to come down. I told them I'm going to keep it there. It'll be a gathering place, and we might have to use it more, I think, and invite people down again like we did. You got Chris Coons, my dear friend Chris, is coming on with you, I think, on this show. Chris is a good man. There's a lot of good people there that want to do the right thing. You're right. It's easy to say no when you don't know someone. It's hard to say no to your friends. When you build relationships, you're looking to get to yes. And that's the bottom line that we're trying to find out now. You never shut the government down. All you're doing is admitting, Michael, that you can't do your job. And here's what my Republican friends need to understand. You have the trifecta. The president is a Republican, the House is Republican majority, and the Senate is a majority. That means you have the mantle, you have the leadership responsibility. Leadership's not easy. You've got to bring people together. Now, I heard Speaker Johnson saying, we've done our job. Back in March, they voted to extend it through a CR. What happened in the 7 months? How many negotiations? How many people have been sitting down? How many Democrats and Republicans have been trying to find this pathway forward? Healthcare is broken in America. The Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, didn't fix it. What it did, it allowed people with pre-existing conditions, people on the low end of the social ladder, if you will, working poor, people that have incomes of $35,000, $45,000 to finally have insurance without having to use the emergency room. This is what it did. And then somebody had to pay for it. The people that are paying for it now got relief by the way of the COVID. When COVID came in, they expanded it. Democrats expanded to 400%. Republicans want to take it back. It's hard to take things back. Maybe you can do it over a little bit of time. There's a couple bills floating around that, to me, they have got the strategy right now if they'll just get people in the room. If you want to wait one more year, if you want to cut it down to 200%, do some things, but you're going to have to fix the underlying problem is American healthcare system is broken. Everyone is not receiving it the same way. And if you can't pay, you can't
Senator,
get it.
Senator, a quick response to that. To me, it violates the time and place rule. First of all, something else I appreciated in your book. I appreciate when a public servant like Joe Manchin says, I got it wrong. And relative to Obamacare, there's a whole discussion in this book where you say, I got it wrong, and let me tell you why I got it wrong. I want to preserve the Affordable Care Act. I think that in the abstract, it's a framework that works. And my quarrel, well, actually, am I right that you never voted for a government shutdown? I mean, if you were still there, you wouldn't be on board for shutting down the government. You'd be saying, let's deal with the Affordable Care Act outside of this framework. Or am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct. I've never voted for it. And I started early enough trying to get enough people understanding what do you prove by it. Our friend Ted Cruz on the Republican side shut it down in 2013. Ask Ted how well that worked for him. Ask anybody on the Republican side when they were basically the ones that shut it down. Now they're saying the Democrats aren't dealing in good faith. The Democrats want to deal in good faith, and that's fine. Find a compromise. Don't say it's my way or the highway. That never works. You know, they know that too. And no one wants undocumented people that came to this country and have not come in the right way for immigration to have all the aspects of our healthcare system or our geopolitical process that we try to treat everyone equally until you become a citizen. I understand that, and they should say, we're not doing that. But there's some things that led to the belief that they were pretty open-minded about things like that, and that's harming the Democrats.
From 2021 to 2023, like you were the man. You held all the power because you were an independent and they all had to come to you. And what I've been saying on my radio program and here on CNN and anywhere anybody will listen to me is I wish there were a handful of Joe Manchins. All it would take is 3 to 5 Joe Manchins, and then everybody would have to come to you to deal, and we could water down the extremists at both ends of the spectrum. How do we get there?
Well, first of all, I've always had my North Star was always, if I can't go home to my little hometown of Farmington, West Virginia, and explain it to the people that raised me, the people that loved me and nurtured me and took care of me, if I couldn't explain it to them, I couldn't vote for it. And you have to have that strength within you that when you're sitting in the Oval Office and the President of the United States asks you to do something and you don't agree, you've got to say it in the most respectful way that you possibly can. I'm so sorry. That doesn't make sense. This is a representative form of government that we have, a democracy, which is still an experiment. And the people that I'm representing will not accept that. That doesn't make sense to them or me either. So that's how I've done. And I've been able to be truthful, always up front with people. And they always come to me and they say, I know, Joe, if it doesn't make sense, you're not going to vote for it. And I says, you're absolutely correct. Does this make sense to you? Or are you doing it because of political pressure? Come on. And the bottom line,
I know,
here's what we need to do. You and I agree on one. Really. We agree. You and I agree seriously on something, Michael.
I'm frustrated. Look, I'm trying to give voice to the 43% who regard themselves as independent. And I believe that I wish you'd have done it sooner, but I believe that you were the real deal as an independent. I have respect for Angus King. But you know, he caucuses where he caucuses, and Bernie's not an independent, even though he calls himself as such. He runs for president as a Democrat. And I'm just trying to make the point here that if there were just a handful of men and women in the Senate who truly were Manchin-like, the country would be in a hell of a lot better position. Unfortunately, I've just eaten up all of your time. I thought the book was great. Go ahead, take the final 30 seconds.
Let me say real quick on this. Not have a representative form of government when we independents can't even participate in. We have to have open prime so we have quality of people that are willing to run and have a chance of winning. We've got to change the primary process. They're locking us out, and we've got to change that.
Yeah, well, you may or may not know that I'm the lead plaintiff in trying to get that done right here in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania because we are one of those closed primary states. All right, we'll continue this conversation, I hope.
Right behind
Thank you. Thank you.
Right behind you.
Thank you. Okay. The book is called Dead Center, and it's terrific.